One, two, three.
Before the year 2000, football in Kilwinning looked very different. For all the demand and interest in the game, the facilities were limited and becoming insufficient. For the past 24 years, the club has worked its way up from scratch, reinventing how sport is approached in Kilwinning. But there was no quick way to get there. The grand plan at first, just a field of dreams.
My name's Jim McCoist. I'm a founder member of the club. Started off as the first chairman. I was a coach of one of the member teams. I was a trustee, and laterally I was an employee at the club up until recently. It all kicked off, if you'll pardon the pun, back in the season 1998-99 when Kilwinning Rangers, our senior club, won the Scottish Junior Cup. They won the local league and they won all other cups that they participated in that season. Football in the town was very prominent.
I'm Jim Hodge. I'm one of the co-founders of the sports club back in 2000. My main role back in the day was to try and raise funds to help improve and build new facilities.
At the same time, from a long-term involvement in football in Kilwinning, myself and my colleague Jim Hodge were discussing the lack of facilities and the poor standard of facilities in the town. From that discussion came about a campaign for us to approach North Ayrshire Council to try and get some improvements done to the facilities in the town. About the same time, the SFA, the Director of Community Football at the time, I think was his title, Jim Fleeting. Jim was discussing with North Ayrshire Council about the possibility of creating a community football club in the area. Those two things were happening in parallel. Jim then started dialogue with us about the possibility of getting involved in the discussions with North Ayrshire Council. What we decided to do, we decided to form a steering group to look at the possibility of this community club. And we decided to hold a public meeting, and we invited the then international manager along to talk at the public meeting. At that time it was Craig Brown. Craig Brown came along and spoke about football development and about the development of community clubs that the SFA were looking to do. And as a result of that public meeting, we sat around the table with 16 like-minded coaches who wanted to be involved. This all happened in the space of time between 1999 when we first mooted the idea, and our very first meeting we had as a committee was in March 2000. The main option that we had decided upon was Pennyburn playing fields. When we took on the lease of Pennyburn playing fields, we had 2 11-a-side pitches, 2 7-a-side pitches, the car park, a man-made lake. That's what we took on in the year 2000.
The catchphrase, it was always the field of dreams. Who would have dreamt we've come this far, guys, all those years ago?
Well, back in the day, the facilities were extremely poor in the town, and the big plan was really just to get improved facilities. We didn't have a plan that would see us have all this, but that's the way it's transpired due to the hard work of Jim and I and a lot of other individuals.
There were 16 teams who joined the club, and that was mainly from Jim's side of it, Kilwinning Rangers, and my side, which was Durran's. That is where the man-made lake was created. We investigated ourselves what was causing the big problem, and we found, believe it or not, a double mattress down one of the manholes.
Kilwinning Sports Club originally, when we inherited the land, it was at one white pavilion which had 4 changing rooms, shower room and a referee room. We still have that, and in the beginning we built around there with various porta cabins and fences.
The first 2 porta cabins we brought in and we placed them in the car park behind us here. And as we got additional porta cabins and to create this porta cabin city, we were shuffling them about, so moving about and positioning them so we could join them up. The first few years, obviously to employ staff, it requires an awful lot more income. So we relied very, very heavily on our volunteers. We took it in turn. We had a volunteer rota.
Hi there, welcome to Kilwinning Community Sports Club. How can I help you?
As the club developed and someone came along and I think offered us a treadmill. The only way we could grow our facilities and increase the space that we could use was through porta cabins. So we had a spare porta cabin, and it was an idea that Jim and I had that we would put the running machine and the road machine and the stepper into this porta cabin, and it grew arms and legs. Somebody was stuck on another porta cabin, and then another porta cabin, and then we got some more equipment, and then all of a sudden we've got a full-blown gym.
Jim, you mentioned the story about the Field of Dreams. I believe this was the actual site where you built your first floodlit training area, and this is the very spot.
Yes, it is, Colin. You did mention Field of Dreams. It was a particularly misty night when the floodlights that we built ourselves. We got some old second-hand street lighting columns. We got some redundant floodlighting from Inverclyde, and we had a gang of guys down here on a Saturday morning putting the floodlights up, and we created our own training area. And that's where the Field of Dreams analogy started, when the mist came down and the floodlights were still on. And that itself was an achievement, and it kind of set the tone, or set the standard for what came after that. It was always really, most of the time it was like 2 or 3 steps back, 1 step forward, just trying to make things as best we possibly can. But say, who would have thought we would end up with a facility and a playing surfer and a pitch like that? So it's testament to the guys that were involved from the beginning.